Yo everybody, what's up? This is your girl Dragon. We're going to be doing a special request here, a live help, real quick, with Reaper in the UEFN community. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We'll have to reset up everything for the help that he needs. This tutorial is from the last tutorial I just did for the quick battle royale style type map, but I have to revert it back to the hunters versus runners type map because he needs that type of setup. So it's going to be just a few minutes while I reset up everything. Let me go ahead and make sure he can pop in and we can get started. Let's see, the video is not popping up. Let me try something else here. There it goes. All right, so we good here. Let me go ahead and ping. All right, so I have to reset up everything because this is from the previous tutorial. So it's going to be just a bit here. We won't be using player counter for this. I'm just going to delete it. And we won't be using all this. We're just basically going to be taking it back. So I'm just going to delete all these things. All right, so let's see here. We have, this is global, I believe. Let's name this global. Alrighty. And this should be alright, so let's set up the teams. So let's go back over here. Let's do this. Alright, so I need one for make global team 3, right? And make sure we're gonna do teams, gonna change this as well. Alright, so we're gonna have only 3 teams. We have 1 global team and 2 regular teams. Team size is dynamic because you're gonna have devices set the teams. Let's see here. Again, I'm rechanging this tutorial from the last one I had. So I'm revamping everything. We've got a spawn limit of 1. I'm not sure if he has infinite. We'll just go ahead and set it to infinite for this because I'm not sure what he has as far as his settings. Let's see here. And let's see. All right, so we have our global team is set to team 3, and this is going to be team 1. Make sure you name everything accordingly. Team 1. And change this to team 1. All right, so let's see here. Make it blue. All right, and this is going to be team 1. So their class will be class 2. Class 2. All right, we're going to also need class switchers with this, so let's go ahead and grab some. Again, you should be using event binding for this tutorial, so if you're in UEFN, just go ahead and jump into a session, and that way you can do the event binding. Let's see here. Class selector. I always call them switchers. I don't know why. So let's go ahead and class switchers. This is going to be global. Right, and then we're going to have this is going to be class to switch to 2, team to switch to is 1. This is going to be class to switch to is 1, team to switch to is 3, because that's going to be our global team. And we can just make it the color, you make sure everything is the same. We're going to make that a gold, just so everything kind of stays in line there. And let's see here, this is going to be class team 3 and class of 1. Our default class is class 1. All right, cool, that's global. And then we need one more team. So I'm just gonna duplicate these. Right, class to switch to is 3, team 2, 3, and this will be team 2, and I have to rename my devices. So let's team 2 and class of 3. So let's go ahead and rename this team 2. Team 2. And then team 2. Alrighty. Cool. Let's make sure I name these. This says team 1. Class selector should be team 1. This is very helpful when it comes to connecting everything together. And then make sure this is, yeah, team 1. Okay. Let's see. This should be global. And global. All right, make sure that says that, and so on. All right, so let's see here. All right, so now we have 3 teams. We have a global team, we have team 1 and team 2. And what he wants is to have 2 people switch to team 1 and everybody else up to 14 players switch to team 2. So I put, let's see, max players, we have 16, right? Let's see here, 3 teams, because we have to count for the global, and a default class of 1, meaning that when everyone spawns in, they're going to be at class 1, but they won't be at team 3 unless we switch them. Having a global class is very important because we're basically switching our own teams. We're not relying on item settings to do so. All right, so let's see here. Before we connect everything, let's go ahead and set up the pregame area. So you're going to need a pregame area. And to test this out, what I'll do here is I'm going to put this is going to be team 1 billboard, team 1. So wherever you have them spawn to, this is, you know, for testing purposes, is where they'll end up. So team 1, and we can make this a blue. It doesn't really matter here. Let's go dark blue. Yeah, that's fine. And then team 2. Team 2. And then name the board team 2. And you know, I don't think we set a color for team 2. So of course we'll make them red. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, and if you want to set an icon, you definitely can if you want to. And any special abilities, of course. So here we have our pre-game paths, and we need to do a few things here. We're going to need a timer, and we need pre-game paths. So you're going, since you're going to have 14 players, you're going to have 2 paths be designated to switch 2 players to team 1, and then every other pad is going to switch everyone to global class, and they're going to wait here until team 1 is already teleported, and then when the timer runs out, then they're going to be switched to team 2, and then they're going to be teleported to their area, and then the game can start. From there on, it's up to you. All right, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and set up the pass for the pregame pads first for team 1. Right, so I'll just go ahead and name this pregame team 1. Right, and I'm just going to delete that and duplicate it. And looks like it didn't copy over. That's fine. I'm going to name it team 1-1. Right, so we have 2 team 1s, right? And let's go ahead, it's pre-game only. The team is set to any because when players spawn in and the game starts, they're not going to be set to a team. So you want to make sure that they spawn on any of the pre-game pads, right? Whoever lands on these two pads, whoever spawns in here will be switched to team 1. So you can actually just randomize it to make the game more randomized. And let's see, so we have pre-game only, team any, player class any. There's no priority group. You will use it as island start, that's important, and so on, right? Let's see here. You want to go to on player spawn event 2, and from here you want to switch to the class. So we're going to look for our class selector, right, for team 1, and we're going to change player to team and class, right, and do the same thing here. Class selector team 1 and change player to team and class, right? So now we have 2 spawn paths that's going to change player to team and class. Now to test it out, since I'm just one player here, we'll go ahead and start the game to double check to see if I'm switched to team 1, which I should be. I mean, like the only player, but just so we can see what's happening with the scoreboard. All right, so I'm team 1, right? All right, so let's see here. Next, we're going to set up the remaining paths. And they're not going to switch, right? You're going to take it off. They're not going to switch to anything. And you can name it to team 2. Right, so they're not going to switch. So you can go ahead and just fill up your room with the rest of the pads. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and to fit more pads in, what I'll do is I'll make them like super small. Make sure they're kind of spaced out. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Eight. 12. Again, we have 16 in the game, right? 15. 16. Of course, your pregame may be bigger than this. Again, this is just for tutorial purposes. So we have everyone else that comes in. They're going to be waiting in the pregame. Only 2 players will be switched to team 2 when the game starts. As soon as they're switched, you want to have them teleported. You want to get them out of the area. So let's go ahead and add a teleporter. Right? So let's do that. All right, and you're going to call this teleporter team 1. Right, and take away the groups. You don't need that. You don't have to use select a team, but you can if you want to, because whoever's teleported here is going to be only teleported here via an event, right? So we got select a team 1, class can be any, that's fine, and Rift is not visible. Let's just take off the sound effects and stuff, and let's see here. All right. So we want to teleport when receiving from the class selector when the team is switched, right? Now you can do that way, or you can actually, make it super easy is just do a trigger, right? You can do a trigger. So when a player spawns in here, it'll trigger once. When a player spawns in here, it'll trigger twice, and change them both to team 1, right? That's another option. So that I can show you how that works. It might be a cleaner option for you. Let's go ahead and implement that, right? So we trigger team 1, right? And we're going to, it's very important, this can only trigger one time, sorry. And it needs to be triggered twice. So we're looking for transmit every 2 triggers. I'm going to trigger when receiving from, let's see, spawn pad. And making sure it's the right one. All right, team 1, and then team 1-1, right? Team 1 and team 1-1. Which one is the regular team? We have a pad with team 2. I'm gonna make sure I don't have a pad somewhere. It's frozen. It's frozen. All right, no worries. Let's see here. That happens. It's okay. Let's just go back into it. And it won't scroll down. That's fine. I saw a spawn pad team without a number behind it. Let me check something real quick. This one, let's see. Where's this one at? Okay. This one needs a number. So we'll put, I don't know, let's put 20, just any number. It needs a number so I can know that it's not like a floating pad somewhere. All right, perfect. All right, so we have it triggering when 2 players come through. And then what this will do is on triggered, it's going to switch the class. So then we go class selector. Where did it go? Let's see here, team 1, right? And change player to team and class, right? You can do it that way as well. It's doesn't matter, it's going to work either way. So for example, let me just set it to trigger once, because I'm the only person in here, and I should most likely, let's see which pad I spawn on. So let's go ahead and give it a try. It looks like I spawned on one of the other ones. All right, so I responded. I didn't spawn on those 2. See, those 2 are back there. I responded on one of these. All right. So it's going to randomize. Let me go ahead and set these to switch to global class. Wrong one. And to speed this up, I'm just going to copy and paste them over. That way, if I do land on one of these, I'll be switched to the global class because I didn't have it set up. All right. All right, 16. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so let's see here. All right, so now I'm global class. I didn't spawn here. So you see it's going to randomize. Some players will spawn here when they come in. Some players will spawn here. So in a few minutes, they'll be, once the timer runs down, the people who are spawned, who are not spawned on these pads will be switched to global, and then they're going to wait to be switched to team 2. So let's see here. I want to ensure I can get an example so that I can spawn on one of these pads. That's fine. Let's see. Let's try to start another game. All right, so completely randomized, right? Completely randomized. Let's see. For testing purposes, I'll put this to player team 1, right? And here I'm spawning here because I'm the only player. All right, so I am team 1, right? And it switched. You heard the trigger. It triggered once. I am switched. All right, perfect. So that checks out. Now let's work out the teleporting mechanic. All right, so let's see. We're going to add in teleporter. Teleporter team 1 and teleport. Now, if you don't want the trigger to do that, right? So here I'm immediately teleported to team 1 area, and whoever's left will be in the pregame until the timer runs out. All right. So that's how that works. If you don't want to use the trigger, you don't have to. You totally don't have to use the trigger. I like it as a buffer. That's just in case, let's say you want to have 2 team 1 members to start this game. You don't want it to start without 2. Then go ahead and have the trigger, and then it needs to count for 2. If it doesn't trigger, if it fails, then you need to say we need at least 2 team 1 members. You can use a player counter. You'll have to probably incorporate that in there for that. But if you don't mind the game starting with 1 team 1 member and like whoever else for team 2, then you can remove the trigger. You don't need this buffer. And you can just have them teleport as soon as they are transferred in and they land on one of these pads. So it's going to basically be like, you just want to make sure you set at least one of the pads to team 1 and then set the other one to any, right? Because that's going to at least have at least one person be a part of team 1 and teleport to their area. Now next up we have, I'll go ahead and take this off of team 1 because we are testing right now. And again, if you want to join in to see how this works, my Epic, go ahead and send in a request to join in. And do so. Let's see, you said you're going to watch on YouTube. All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to continue on the setup. Now this timer was connected to the other tutorial I did for the Battle Royale style map. So let me go ahead and change this timer. Instead of check for players, we're going to name it until game starts. Right, and you can set it to whatever time you want. For testing purposes, let's do like 7 seconds, right? That's cool. And let's see, we do want it to start when the game starts. The players cannot interact with this timer. It does apply to everyone. We want it to be true. We want it to be successful when it ends. We want this to restart. You can, well, I was restarting because it was counting previously. You can have it reset or stop, but that's fine because when everyone's transferred out of here, they'll be gone. So let's just go ahead and put it on reset. There's no need to restart because it's not going to continue to check for players. And this is going to be until game starts. And we're going to show it on HUD and so on, right? All right, cool. Now you can see I had, let's see here. I removed all the settings and I have a mutator zone above this box, right? And let me search for it. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and enable this mutator zone. It's just the game start mutator zone. And this is going to be responsible for teleporting players to team 2, right? It's going to teleport the players here for team 2, and it'll be whoever is left in that room. So it can be up to 14 players left in that room, right? And let me go ahead and delete that and delete that. Make sure it's gone. All right, cool. All right, so it's going to enable, and when it does, we have this timer here. All right. So we don't need an extra timer because that was for the other tutorial. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. So we have one. All right, perfect. So when it does enabled, when players are in the zone, you can go ahead and set it to switch the class. So let's go ahead, switch the class in the team. So class selector team 2, change player to team and class, right? And then you're going to teleport to team 2, right? You're just going to send them straight there and teleport them. Now with this teleporter, here's the thing. You got to imagine, like, when they're changed to the class, it's going to take basically like a split second. But at the same time, you have an event where they're being teleported as well. So just in case they're not switched right away, you want to make sure you set this to a team of all, class of any, right? That way anyone here is going to be teleported here no matter the team. But they should always, yo, what's up? Definitely keep inspiring. Let's go. They should be teleported here. So to test that out, I'm going to make sure that's any. And let's see. I want to make sure everything is connected and everything. Okay. Let's run the test and see how it goes. So if I end up on one of these other pads, I did, right? I'm global class. I'm automatically switch to global. Whoever landed on those 2 pads will be team 1. They'll be over there. And now I'm team 2. Easy peasy. All right. And that's how you do this setup. There's many other ways that you can incorporate this into your gameplay. Right? There's many other ways you can incorporate things into this to make it work for your game. Sorry, I've had a long day. I need some water. My voice is about to go out. But that's the basic setup. You can use this for hunters versus runners. You can use this for any type of game in which you need teams to split and you're having issues with the island setter. This is a way that you can do it. Another way you can do it is by watching the Battle Royale style tutorial I just made. Just check out the videos on the channel. But that's basically the setup there. And this live tutorial was done for Reaper. I'm not sure if you're still in there. Let me see if he is. All right, so I just sent him a message. I'm all done. Any questions? He says that he is in the... He's watching the stream, so let's see if he has any questions. All right, so he says, wait, I didn't complete the video, so it looks like he's at a certain part. No problem. Let's go ahead and wait until he catches up. We're just gonna chill here, and that's how you test with just one person too. Like it can be complicated, but it can be done. And again, shout out to the UEFN community. If you're not a part of it, be sure to join up. This tutorial was done on behalf of the UEFN community, going strong with, I believe, 10,000 members now on Twitter, and we're about 7,000 or so or more. In Discord, let's go. If you guys do have questions when I'm available, I'll be more than happy to assist. We also got Norin in there. We got Mimo. So we're all in there to help you guys and help you, create awesome games and help you with any questions you have or if you're having any issues. So be sure to pop them in. I'm going to go ahead and pop in the Discord link in the chat if you're not there already, and be sure to join up. All right, so I'm just going to chill here until he tells me he's caught up. Okay, so you say, after all that, how can I teleport into Hunter or Hider's location? So there's teleporters here. I'm not sure if you saw that, but I'll re-show you how to do that. Just let me know that you're at this part of the video and that you can hear me talking. All right, I need, if you can, Reaper, type. All right, so just let me know in the chat. That way I can know you are watching the video and I know what part you're at. So just let me know, and then I can show you how I set up the teleporters. Okay, so like I said, I did show how to teleport here earlier, but I'll go over it again. When the players spawn in, you want to set at least one of these pads to player team 1. The other one should be set to player team any. Make sure all pads are set to pregame only. Only 2 pads should have an event that will change the player to team 1. So you see class selector team 1, change player to team and class. And then it's going to trigger. And the trigger, right? The trigger, for tutorial purposes, I have it set to 1 player because it's just myself. The trigger is going to teleport team 1 to the team 1 area. Right? And you can also set it to change the player to team class, the team and class as well. You can set it to do the same. Right? Let's see here. So when it's triggered, that's going to teleport team 1 to their area. And I'll show you an example of that. Now I'm the only player. When I start the game, I should be team 1. automatically, I should land here. You hear the trigger, and I am teleported to Team 1, right? So you can move this teleporter to wherever you have on your map, and that's where Team 1 will go, right? And then I'm going to set this to any, because I need to test the other pads. Just that when you go live, have at least one of these set to Team 1, because they may come in and they may spawn over here and no one will be picked for Team 1. So you got to at least have one player spawn here. So most likely the first player who comes into the game will be Team 1, right? Everyone else will have the probability of landing on one of these pads, or spawning in, sorry, on one of these pads, right? So now let's test Team 2. Now, Team 2, I'll just set this to 10 seconds. See, so now I'm going to be Team 2. I didn't land on that pad over there. I'm Global Team. And I have to wait 5 seconds before I'm switched to Team 2. I am now Team 2. And now I can start the game, right? Team 1 will be there first. So you can have like a game there in Team 1's area, like a, not a game, but like a clock, a timer. That's going to say, you know, waiting for Team 2, you know, and just set that to the same amount of time that's in your pregame. So that's how you set. All right, so you say you know how to do that. How do you give them the guns? All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and load up on guns, right? So we're going to, or load up on the weapons. You're going to do item granter, right? And you can just have one, unless they have different weapons, right? So you do item granter, and you want to set it to grant when receiving from. So you can do when they're teleported. We're going to do teleporter Team 1 on teleported. And let's just have 2 just to make it cleaner, right? And make sure we name this Team 2. And switch this teleporter to Team 2. I should just search for it, it's faster. All right, on teleported. All right, so let's drop any kind of weapon. Let's do Scar, right? So we drop one of those in there. Right? So when they're teleported, they're going to be granted a weapon. It's going to be enabled at game start. It's going to be the triggering player. You don't have to clear inventory. You can if you want to, depending on what you're trying to do. You want to grant all items. So let's say you have more than one. You have like the Scar, you have a a shotgun, and you have heals and all that kind of stuff. Then you drop them all in there. You want to make sure you grant all items. Grant is only if not owned. I would put that there depending on your game mode. I'm not sure if you're going to have them rotating going back through this or not. I don't know. So we can set it to either only if not owned, or you can set it to always depending on what you're doing. And let's see, we don't want to remove the item on grant. You can give extra ammo if you want to. Cycle behavior is stop. I usually put it to wrap, but it's the same. You can choose to drop the items at the player location if you want to. for a cleaner response, you can put never, but it's truly up to you. If you're going to have the items drop at player's location and you want it that way, make sure you have a mutator zone to clean up everything, because it can make the lobby really kind of like dirty looking, right? So we got all that set up. All right, and let's see here. Make sure this is the same. All items and so on. I'm going to put this one on wrap. It's going to do the same thing. Now, ownership of dropped item. Let's say the team, if you only want the player to own that item when it's dropped, then you're going to have the receiving player. If you want the other team to own the item when it's dropped and not the receiving player, then you're going to put instigator. And then if you want everybody, just like in Battle Royale, to be able to pick up that item or that weapon, you're going to set it to all. So it just depends on what you're doing, right? And I'm going to put never. Let's see. And again, it just depends on what you want. You can do it if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and change this to all just to make sure everything is the same. All right, so yeah, just the inventory is full thing is all personal choice. Another way you can have them keep their weapons, of course, is like when the players are eliminated, you can set it to keep weapons here in the class designer or the team inventory. That's another way. And if their inventory is full, you don't want it to grant anymore, then you're just going to make sure you put never. All right. If you know they're coming in here with full inventory already and they're respawning, you want to make sure you put it to never so they don't regrant. So another way you can get around that so they don't respawn and go to the same teleporter, add a checkpoint pad. So if they're eliminated and you want them to come back to their area, just add a checkpoint pad. So that when they're eliminated, they'll spawn back here, right? You just want to make sure when they come in, they land on the checkpoint pad. Or you can have it activate on the trigger, or not the trigger, the teleporter. So register when receiving from teleporter. This is team 2, I think. Right, so as soon as they come in, it's going to register them to that pad. And you can do the same thing for team 1. And that way if they're eliminated, they spawn back on the pad instead of spawning back on the teleporter. And they can keep their weapons without it being granted again and again and again. Alright, so be sure to include that. Because if you don't have a checkpoint pad and they're eliminated, they're going to spawn in the sky because these pads are only set to pregame only. Okay, so that's another thing I want to throw in there. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll run the test so you can see how the items are granting and go from there. All right, so I'm going to be team 2, right? I'm global now. And I have my weapon. Nice. If I am eliminated, I think I have fall damage on here. Let's find out. I don't have fall damage. Never mind. Let's test the elimination. All right, so to test the elimination, I'll just put a damage volume here that'll eliminate me, and that way I can make sure I still spawn where I need to spawn. So let's go to damage volume. And let's see here, gameplay. Oh, gameplay only. You want it to be visible. Elimination. All right, cool. So this is just for me to test. I'll put it like right here. All right, I'll be team 2. All right, I'm global. All right, so I have my weapon, and I heard the checkpoint pad register. I am eliminated. Oh, I only have it set to a spawn limit of 1, that's why. Let me see. Ah, yeah, I forgot to switch that. All right, so if they have unlimited spawns, let's switch that. All right, let me switch it to unlimited spawns. This is set to like the Battle Royale style. I forgot to switch that. Let's see, spawn limit of 1. We're gonna go infinite, right? I want to make sure these are also reflecting the same, because that's important as well. Did I pass it? All right, don't override. I totally passed it. I passed it! Don't override. And this, don't override, all right? It's got to make sure all those are the same. Don't override. Don't override. And don't override. All right, I should be team 2. I am global. Got my weapon, heard the register, and respawning. And I come back on checkpoint pad. See? So that's how you do that. Make sure that you have a checkpoint pad in both areas for team 1 and team 2. That way they don't spawn in the sky. Okay? And they don't come back through the initial teleporter. That way they're not granted weapons again. I have to set it so that when they're eliminated, they keep their weapons. I didn't do that. Let's see here. All right, so you asked if hiders are eliminated, will they go to hunters, right? So first, let me make sure that I'm keeping my weapons here. So let's see here. Uh, all right, I'm gonna set that to keep, and don't override. All right, so okay, so yes, you want them to basically an infection game. All right, easy peasy. So you want an infection game. Team 2 are your hunters. I'm sorry, Team 1. I apologize. Team 1 are your hunters. And then you want them to switch over to Team 1 when eliminated. All right, so let's do that. For that, you're going to need an elimination manager. Okay? To set up that and use that as and use this as a building block. So let's go ahead and implement that in here real quick. And let's see here. So basically, whoa, I almost fell. You want it for team all right, you want it for team, a specific team only, right? So you want to make sure you set your selected team, and by that it says the elimination manager will activate when players of this team are eliminated. Will always activate for applicable creatures, right? So when any team 2 member is eliminated, you want to switch their teams, right? So 1, you want to set to on eliminated, send an event to, and we're going to go to class, and we're going to go to class selector team 1 and change player to team and class. Okay. So let's test that out. Now, in addition to that, let me first drop a checkpoint pad, because I didn't set this up here for team 1, right? And we're going to set this to register when coming from teleporter team 1. Oh, sorry, teleporter, not class selector. Teleporter team 1 on teleported, but also elimination manager on eliminated, right? This should, on eliminated, switch them to team and register them to the checkpoint pad, so they will spawn here. Now they will spawn in team 1, right? So let's go ahead and test that out. I should be team 2, right? I'm global. All right, so we heard that register. I am still team 2. Oops, yeah, I came back to team 2. So let's go ahead and check. I wonder if it has to be eliminated by player, I think, not self-eliminations. Let's see, will self-eliminations count? Let's see, self. All right, so for tutorial purposes, I'm gonna put it valid for self-eliminations. All right. I am now team 1. But I'm still spawning in team 2. All right, that's gonna be, let's figure out what's going on with that. But I am team 1 now. All right, so let's see. I need to make sure. All right, activating team 2. And then this should be activating team 1. Oh, I'm player 1 this time. All right. See, and then the other team will be switched over there until the timer ends. All right. I need to be team 2. I didn't think I'll be team 1. See? What are those odds? All right, let's go ahead and run it again. And I should be team 2 this time. Yay! See how it just splits automatically and it's all random, which is really good. All right, team 2. I am team 1. I should be in the... Ah! Oh, well. You got those bugs. That happens. All right. So let's see. Let's see how to fix that. For some reason, I am switching teams. It is still spawning me here. So let's see. Activating team 2. Let's see. Allowed class is class 3. And allowed class is class 2. Wish they had like an unregister, but it doesn't seem like they do. You could probably put in a gameplay pad here. Let's see how it works. This is all about testing, so what I'll do is get a spawn pad. And this is another fail safe. Just we're going to see which one is going to be more efficient. I'm going to name this player spawner team 1 infected. And I'll just, yeah, INF, right? And then we're going to set it to gameplay only, team 1, class of 2. Island start is off. And enable when receiving from elimination manager uneliminated. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, let's go. I want to be team 2. I am team 2. I heard the register. Interesting. It still spawned me here. Let's go. I'm really excited for a problem here. Let's figure it out. Now, when I was eliminated, I heard this register, but I'm still registered to this one, and it's still spawning me here. I wonder if it would be better just to use the gameplay pads. You know? I want to try something, so let's do it. I'm going to do class any, team 1, gameplay only. When players spawn, I'm going to right, and then I'm gonna register. I'm not gonna register through teleporter. Right, I'm gonna let elimination manager handle that, and then the same here. We're going to use spawn pad. Wait, in fact, I can just duplicate and change the team. This will be team 2. Right, and team 2. And team 1, I'm gonna take off. Wait, oh my gosh. Wait, I need to leave that there, eliminate it, right? Let's see. It's gonna enable when they're eliminated. Team 1 infected. And this should let's see, be enabled always, right? And then this is going to they probably won't need a checkpoint pad here, right? So let's get rid of this. I run into this. My team is switched. I spawn here. It registers checkpoint. Depending on how many lives you have for the hunters, they can, I guess, spawn again until they run out of lives. But they should have, I'm not sure how many lives you're giving each team. So that's going to also determine, you know, what you're doing for your game. You know what I mean? First, let's do it kind of this way. Let me see what's going on here. Global. All right, I am team 2, and yeah, I removed the team 2 checkpoint. I am team 1 now. I should respawn back on team 1 pad, but it put me back here. Very interesting. All right. Let's see. This should be team 2 only. All right, and it should not register. Delete. All right, now let's delete it. And enabled always. Let's just try that. All right, and it's set to gameplay only. I'm ensuring that. All right, and I'm gonna just name it not infected, but just regular team 2. It's still spawning me here even though eliminated. That's pretty crazy. And let's just not have a team 2 when they are eliminated. They don't come back. They go here, right? They go here. And we'll do team any. Let's try that. Right. Let's do team any because that's interesting. So let's see here. All right, I'm going to be team 2. All right, and now I am team 1. So yeah, no gameplay pad, no checkpoint for them. If they're eliminated, they're automatically infected and they're here. So when they are eliminated, if team 1, they should spawn back in team 1. Because they're the infectious hunters and they keep coming and they keep coming. There, that solves the issue there. And end of game. Yo, that solves it. Like, whoa, like, yeah, my mistake was putting that pad there, but hey, it's a learning experience there. I was thinking that, let's say, like, what if they die, like, if it's something else other than self-elimination? I don't know. So yeah, then that pad, this won't need to be there. And then you want them to spawn here and register this. So when they come back, let's say the hider eliminates the hunter will spawn back here. And so on. Let's see. Reaper says my brain is like going different directions, and I was like, no, you see the solution. No one watching. And Reaper says, so yeah, that's it. And he's typing. Let's take a look here. It can be, yeah, super confusing, especially, wish there was a way like we can like have a button to like translate like things, so you can see, like I can just like press a button and you can see how you see it. That would be so cool. If creative, if Epic like implements that type of accessibility. Yeah, if you want, I can keep this on YouTube. No problem. You have the link here and you can watch through everything. Sorry to go through things a bit fast, but in 20 minutes I do have to get going. But you can see that the system works. I wish there's a way I can like download this into a spreadsheet and just send it over. That would be so cool. But that would take additional time that I don't have. Let me know how far you have gotten, if you were able to follow through this setup. Indeed, yeah, it definitely works. And I'll go ahead and save the video, and I'll go ahead and leave it here. I do hope it helps, dude, and thank you so much for reaching out. Again, if you do have any questions, just be sure to ping me and the community, or you can reach out to Norin or Mimo. We're here to help, and we wish you success on your project. Bye.